play, but they just really need to take advantage of their leverage and step up and make my life easy, because if you guys do your job, then maybe I can get back to watching the sport that I love the most. But y'all, no courage.
And you know what the really sad part about that, Ace? Like, as you stated, you got expendable people. But nobody on either side of the aisle, whether it be a superstar or a traditional player, they haven't publicly said it. It seems like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, if no one else, should have started kneeling, especially last year. What I mean by that is this: Tom Brady they don't have the courage to get cut. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because
they don't have the courage to do it.
Mm-hmm. Because this dude, more than anybody, was about to be cut. Him and Belichick are beefing right now because Bill Belichick said, you're 40. It's time for you to go. And if anybody else, you should have said, you know what, I'm a side with these cats. Because it was awful convenient. It was awful convenient when they started talking about cutting him. All of a sudden, I don't understand why Kaepernick not. Why don't you kneel then, bro? Why don't you join the other side then? Because they just showed you league MVP. You were league MVP. You went to the Super Bowl with a half-ass team, and we're gonna cut you. We are ready to move on with Jimmy Garoppolo. If nobody else should have started kneeling, you realize, hey man, I'm expendable. I may as well use my power. With that being said, is it on the players? Because your initial statement was the players. What do you think the fans can do then? What can we do? Do we just flat out?
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're not watching. We're not watching games. I'm not buying any NFL products. So I'm not supporting in that way. I'm not listening to games on the radio. None of it. Like, I'm literally on a fast from the NFL, and don't buy tickets. Don't go to the games. And don't listen. I'm the biggest fan. Like, that's my number one sport. So I get it. It's tough. I have friends. They play fantasy, and they understand the social ramifications, but their desire to play fantasy is, for some reason, is stronger than their commitment to the social issues at hand. And that kind of saddened me. And I was like, yo, respect to y'all, but I can't rock with y'all. Like, y'all do that, I'm doing this. And they continued to play that. They tried to, they tried to sort of like make an excuse for why it was okay to do, to still play and still watch. But all they're doing is fooling themselves. At the end of the day, we all, we got black children, and our black children are in danger, literally in danger.
Do you think this is an option? Like, remember in the 80s, late 80s, we did, the hip-hop community, we did the self-destruction record. Do you think something like that would help? Because hip-hop, we pushed forward everything in the culture. The United States is paying attention to hip-hop at all times. Do you think cats like yourself, Chuck, Talib Kweli, guys who people recognize as people who have focus and they have the best interest of the community in mind, have you guys ever thought about potentially making an album, making a video, or making a song to address these things and request that the hip-hop community unplugs?
Something like that would have to be spearheaded by a big name. It's not impossible, but it has to be spearheaded. It has to be spearheaded by somebody who has a strong following, a strong fan base, and that has the voice. Somebody like a Jay-Z, somebody like a Pharrell, a T.I., somebody like that were to step up and make and say, listen, what we're going to all do together. Then you might actually see the needle move. Right now, it's just guys like us who just love the sport but refuse to support a league that doesn't respect our community, and is trying to sort of hide behind the idea that this protest is about the troops and the flag, and nobody's talking about the troops or the flag. I think that has nothing to do with it. But that's just my take, man.
No, I mean, I'm in lockstep with you. I heard this as a take recently. Do you think at some point, instead of boycotting, should our community just say, should we just ultimately walk away forever? Because, see, and the person articulates this to me. If we instead of boycotting, if we just walk away forever, does that send a stronger message? Because then what they'll do, what he was saying is, what they'll do is 16, they'll smooth it over, and then something else will bubble up. But if we walk away permanently, that sends a message. Well, if you ever with us again.
I mean, I didn't watch last year. I'm not watching this year. And as long as the league continues to stand, I said to my wife this past winter, this past spring, I said, listen, because the owners came out and they said, they were going to make it a penalty and all this type of stuff. I said, if this is the way that the league is going to proceed with handling this, I said, I might not watch football again. And I had to actually say that to myself and come to grips with that fact that I might not watch football again.
Yeah, because I'm willing to. I'm willing
to make it up.
Right. Because when that person presented that to me, I never thought about it. But then I said, man, maybe we should walk away forever. Because that's a hell of a statement. Do what's right, or we're not dealing with you ever again. Cross the line, and we'll leave you alone.
That's where I'm at. I'm already there. It's just I need another 20 million people that feel the same way to do the same thing. And there's a lot. Like I said, a lot of us are still caught up in, I got my fantasy league, I got my pick'em league, and guys, this is what we do every Sunday. Now we can't do it. It's a matter of dudes being willing to come out of their comfort zone, come out of their, and do something a little bit more significant than hanging out, drinking beer, watching sports.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree, because at some point we are going to have to, whether it just be our community or the culture of the United States of America, we are going to have to make an actual stand as a group, a collective. And like you said,
I'm making mine. I'm making my individual.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have to pay attention because this is a sports show. And I have to be able to speak intelligently when someone calls in and asks me a question about football. But all I do is pay attention to the numbers and the records and the statistics and the numbers. I'm not watching the ratings. I'm not watching the Bears. And like I used to rep the teams, on Twitter and things of that nature, talk trash to people. I'm just paying attention for education purposes. So when someone calls and says, hey, what's up with this? And I'll be able to intelligently speak about it. But otherwise, I'm doing it. Yeah. So, now, what other sports are you into?
I'm into basketball lightly. I don't watch baseball, but I follow. If the local teams are doing well, I follow. I listen to ESPN Radio in New York, just to kind of keep up on the other sports. But beyond basketball and very little bit of baseball, that's kind of like pretty much where I draw the line. I'm not a big soccer fan, not a big hockey fan. It's probably just the major three. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mets, Yankees.
I support both. I root for the Mets because they're the underdogs all the time, and I still remember that '86 World Series that they got. That was like a great team, and Strawberry and Gooden and all of that. I loved that time. But I definitely support and root for the Yankees heavy as well. Yep.
So you're a Knicks fan?
Yeah, Knicks over Nets. And the Nets are in Brooklyn, but they're still not really a Brooklyn staple for me yet. They're in Brooklyn, but they don't rep Brooklyn yet. They need some more time there before I feel like they're really with us, part of us.
Oh. So, how you looking at the Knicks? What's going on with the Knicks? What do you think gonna happen with the Knicks? Or do you like what's going on? the direction they're going in?
I mean, the Carmelo move was the first important step to kind of rebuilding and getting young. All you gotta do is look at what the Sixers did and follow that blueprint and go, okay, let's get young, let's get athletic, let's try to keep putting pieces together. I think the LeBron dreams and hopes are too far fetched, so I'm not even counting on that. Although I think this is probably the right market for him to come to. I don't think it's going to happen, so you got to start looking at the bigger picture. The Sixers is a great example. Even the Celtics, get young, get athletic, build that way through the draft.
With that, you mentioned, I'm going to ask you. I got two questions about that. Two things you just said. With the Nets, with the Sixers, how do you feel about the whole tanking thing? Do you like that, or would you change that?
I don't like that, but I don't know that you can really control that. Like that's something that you can really realistically control. It just is what it is. The only way you can do that is if you change the for the lottery. If you change the way that's done, so that the very, very last bottom place team doesn't get the most balls, that team that you want to finish at least ninth. Like, to me, like the ninth play, the team that just misses the playoffs, you probably get the advantage. That's how you get rid of tanking. You make that ninth place team get the best advantage of the remaining teams.
Exactly. I have the same line of thought. I actually said I would like to see them, since analytics is the buzzword of the day, and they count dribbles and every other thing. I say make the most efficient team that doesn't make the playoff, give them the greatest chance. That way, you will, even if you don't make the playoff, you're not missing the playoffs on purpose, because that will affect your lottery ball. So if you are the most efficient team that misses the playoffs, you get the greatest chance at the best player, because at that point, I believe that will create parity. Now,
I agree.
LeBron James is the biggest target in all sports. I'm not even going to go into is he a Michael Jordan thing, because that's pointless. I mean, I don't even want to venture into that land. Right. But how do you feel about the whole super team thing, and is that a problem?
It is a problem. And what's going to compound the problem is if LeBron goes to a team in the West. I think that would be the worst thing that could happen. Is that LeBron go to a Western Conference team, because the league is already West heavy, and the East. The only thing that was keeping kind of the two conferences competitive, in my opinion, was the existence of LeBron in the East. If he goes to the Lakers or anywhere in the West, San Antonio, anything like that, it's going to almost make the Eastern Conference teams irrelevant, and that's what I am worried about. And I really hope that he's looking at Eastern teams, and I hope he finds a home somewhere in the East, because it's needed. We got Golden State up there; they're just on top of the world, ruling things, and then all these other really good Western teams, and then you got, it's like the fourth best West team can probably beat the best East team on a random given night, and with LeBron not being in the mix, and that's going to kill the league. I'm telling you, if he goes to the West, it's going to make the league really struggle they're going to struggle for a while.
Wow. So if he stays in East, where will you put him?
I'd put him on the Knicks. That's just me, though. That's what I would do.
But it's crazy. I actually tweeted that out a few weeks ago. I was like, since LeBron is chasing this ghost of Michael Jordan, and no one is really going to give him the props. If he really wants that next level attention, to win a championship in New York with basketball, he could actually say, hey, man, nobody else did it, I did. I would actually like to see LeBron in the East. It's crazy, because there's nothing, you can win in Chicago. You can win L.A. You can win anywhere. But when you win in